Hello everybody, how is it going? My name is Lucas and welcome to another episode of Amps of the Axis X3. Today we are checking out a drive from MI Audio called the Crunchbox version 1. And guys, if it's your first time here or if you've been here before, make sure you are subscribed. There's lots of cool stuff here. I do gear reviews, I do Axis tutorials, and I don't want you to miss any of that cool stuff, so make sure you are subscribed. So without any further ado, let's jump right in and check out the Crunchbox. I specified version 1 when I was introducing it because the current version, the real pedal, is on version 2, which is a little bit brighter. The one that is in the Axe effects, in FM3 and FM9s, is based on version 1, which is a little bit darker. And this pedal has been described as a Marshall on steroids, which I don't think that's accurate. I'll tell you why when we get into it. And it's based off of the Marshall Governor. Why do British people love saying Governor like that? Where did that even start? I'm annoying myself by saying governor so many times. Sorry. I won't do it again. I'm sorry. Like I said before, this is the version 1. Version 2 is the one that is currently out. If you want to know more about this, go on the Axis Wiki and look up in the drive page. I won't bore you down with stuff. It's based on a Marshall Governor, has a Marshall type sound. The real pedal has volume, tone, and gain. Pretty much like a normal drive. It's called a distortion, and my auto calls it a distortion. Distortion drive kind of have a little bit of a differences. Guitar we're going to be using today is going to be my Anderson Cobra. We're going to be in E flat tuning. It has some Anderson pickups, HC3 in the bridge, HC1 in the neck. IR we're going to be using is going to be ML Mega Green, which is some of the best greenbacks ever made in a Mesa cabinet. And we're also going to be using the Revv Genarator Green number 1. No aggressions on it, just a plain old Jane generator. And of course the drive is going to be Box of Crunch, aka the Crunchbox. Alright, I'm going to let you hear what it sounds like, my normal tone with the amp without the drive, and then we'll kick on the drive and I'll go all over the place and I'll show you why I don't think this thing should be called a Marshall on steroids. And I'll also go through the different pickup positions of my guitar too, so you can kind of get a feel for that too. So let's go! And that is the MI Audio Crunch Box. Remember how I was saying that this thing isn't accurately described as a Marshall on steroids? This is actually perfectly described as Marshall as if it was the freaking Hulk. Because this thing has so much output and like so much anger behind it. It's absolutely insane. On almost every drive that I do and demo on here, I normally put the drive, I'm around 6, I'm around 7. Last week for the Buxom drive, I had it all the way up because that's just kind of how it is on the real pedal, and it was fine. This thing has like so much like mids and there's so much like output. Like you even heard it. The level and the distortion drive, the distortion knobs work really well together. So like when I mean work well together, I mean like you have to kind of tame them. So if you put the drive, if you put the level all the way up, you have to lower the distortion. It's just so angry in your face, and it has like so much like mids. I don't know if you heard the crackling on there. Like I was trying to avoid that before I even started the demo. I was like figuring out ways how to do it. And even if you like lower the level on the amp, like I only have the gain at 3. That's not very high at all. And my level is only at 6. So if I lower the level, it kind of really like didn't help things a whole lot. I mean, I was just experimenting. I know I'm like, you're not supposed to do that if you do. No, I was just experimenting with it. And I found the best thing to do is you got to keep the level high. You got to keep either the level high and the distortion low, or the distortion low and the level high. You can't have them both running wide open because it's just like a mass of just like anger coming at you. But this pedal does sound like really good. It has a like overdriven Marshall sound to it, but it doesn't sound like a dated overdriven Marshall, if that makes any sense. It sounds kind of modern-ish. It sounds really good, to tell you the truth. Like, if you want like hard rock or like shit, you can even do like 80s. You could do 80s thrash metal on this or 80s metal on it, and it's insane because I'm like you heard, the Revv Green on 3 is like very like kind of tame, and you get a little bit of distortion in there, but it's like nothing of what this pedal does to it. It absolutely obliterates everything. These are some of the settings. Like I didn't mess with any of the EQs or anything, and I didn't mess with any of the EQs on the pedal. I typically always leave this alone and just use basic because I wanted to use it like I'm using like the real amp, because I mean you could always edit it and kind of get a sound that's not 100% accurate to the drive itself. So I think I'm gonna wrap things up here on the Box O Crunch, aka Crunch Box, aka Captain Crunch Box. This pedal is just, it's insane. So if you want to go from 0 to 100, this one is absolutely for you. So if you want to use like an absolute like pristine Fender clean amp, I feel like this was what this was made for. So you put it in front of like a Fender clean or like a purely clean amp and you smash this thing on, it's just like an absolute wall of just sound coming at you, which kind of makes sense now why it's like so hot and so overdriven. I guess because it was made to go with amps that are like purely clean or like don't really have a whole lot of signal or oomph to them. You put this thing on, holy crap, it is just like so much in your face, just kind of like blaring out there. But it sounds good. That's really my only complaint about it, is it has like so much like level and gain on tap per se. I mean, and the tone knob does do a good job of giving you those frequencies in there. It doesn't get too harsh. The only thing I wish this thing had in default form was like a cut, where you could like cut the low end or whoops, sorry, hit the mic. If I could cut the mids a little bit in it, it would kind of make things a little more tolerable. So that way, like things wouldn't be like slamming up against the like limits, and you could get crackling and stuff like that. Which I know if you do proper gain staging, you can get it down. But I wanted to do it to where like if I'm putting it in front of my amp and I had to try and like keep things down. So like I said, level and distortion, you can't put them both up at the same time. I mean, you can, but it's just obviously too much. And I told you I was going to wrap it up, and I talked a little bit too long there, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around watching this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. I know there's a lot of stuff out there buying for your attention, but you chose to spend some time with me, and I greatly appreciate it. And guys, I will catch you on the next video. Peace.